Welcome back to Going Beyond, and I thank you very much for having joined us here. Today I have a very interesting person in my studio. He's a person who's been a photographer for many, many years, almost 50 years. H.K. Rajashekar. He's here with me not just as a photographer, but he's also a very old friend. So it's my pleasure, honestly, Rajashekar, to have you in my studio for a change. That's very nice, you know.
Thank you.
You've had such a long and illustrious career as a cameraman, as a photojournalist, as somebody who's spent all his life behind these wonderful cameras. Now, there are different types of photography. So which are the ones that you have liked best?
I think so. I like all the genres of photography. Photography is, photographer should be always, a part and be prepared to do anything and everything. That is the real enjoyment. But I loved, my first passion was actually photojournalism. So even though earlier I used to do this, my always reason was, and to be frank now, I can say when I started my career, in fact, my life's ambition was to do at least work one day in India Today magazine because of looking at the magazines, this one. And fortunately, I ended up working for 23 years as a full-time employee of that.
Oh.
I think so that fulfilled my...
Right, yes. Of course, and you were the main guy in India Today. With anything that was done pretty much all over the countries, particularly in the south, was always attributed to you and your work because you had that sort of reputation, for what you were doing. But along the way, also, you were also sent to Delhi and you were working out of Delhi. And I think there are very few people in our country of importance who you have not covered. Tell me about those experiences for you.
No, in fact, I'm basically a Bangalorean, and my passion was, photography, and my love is for a culture, festivals, and other things. And photojournalism was my ultimate this one. And I used to do a lot of coverage for the Government of Culture, Karnataka Cultural Department. For them, I used to do a lot of music. This one, even as a freelancer, I used to do my freelancing from 1979 onwards with the Deccan Herald Group. Actually, they have a Kannada magazine called Sudha. There, I used to regularly freelance for them. Actually, there because of my passion and other things, I've done a lot of stories on singers, musicians. In fact, I think so. I was blessed to take pictures of 𝗲𝗏𝗄𝗏 𝗵𝗏𝗄𝗏, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏, 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏 and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏 Rajguru at their houses for the cover story for them actually, and 𝗵𝗂𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗏𝗏, everyone, and I covered Russian festival, SARC festival, which all happened in this one, and then I joined after 10 years, I think so, I joined as a full-time employee for photographer for Deccan Herald Group, which they offered me earlier once, where I was not interested. I had refused their offer. After 2 years, I went there, and they offered me this one because they wanted a successor to Mr. T.S. Satyan, who is a legendary photographer who was working for them in Delhi. And he was retiring and he was planning to come back to Mysore. Then they had appointed some other photographer, already a Punjabi photographer. But then they asked me actually, I'll ask you to work from there, some other place, some other city. I said, if you have something in your mind, tell me exactly what you want, I'll tell you. Then he said, no, Satyan is coming back, I want you to work in Delhi. So then I said, yes.
So that's when you moved to Delhi. Right. Now, along the way, you have had so many awards, I mean, the Photographic Society of America, and I mean, virtually from many, many different countries of this world. So when you look at your work, does it make you feel good that you are now being appreciated by, by the world's best photography, the societies around the world? What does it make you feel?
See, that's actually, that's one part. Actually, to do this, actually, I think so. I should come back to this one, actually, What happened was I was always adventurous.
Okay.
I always wanted to do something which others will not do. Like you have to
Such as what?
See, for example, actually, a news photographer, now the things have changed. The day when I was there, you know, I mean, when we started and all, you know, if a newspaper, if a virtual a function happens, what they do is I go inauguration, cut the ribbon and come back.
Yes,
That's
true.
all.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everybody will be standing, posing for a picture.
That's
all the
horrible.
politicians
Those pictures are
looking
horrible.
like blinking at the camera.
Yeah, true.
And but it was like monotonous for me. I didn't want to do that. What I used to try to do was, you know, reach there before the original event start. There'll be a lot of interactions, movements, and other things where there's a life in the picture. I used to try for that, something like that actually. You know, when I'm talking about this, again, I'll come back again to
Please,
Delhi.
yes.
See, when I was working in Delhi, Rajiv Gandhi was the Prime Minister. In Delhi, you know that hundreds of photographers will be there, a lot of security problems. And so there, what they used to do is in Delhi, even now, they give photographers 2-3 minutes time. And they ask us to take pictures and move. But everybody would click and go, but there were very few photographers who wanted to be different. So we never used to go away actually. Once there was some meeting in Vigyan Bhavan, we were fighting with the security guys actually. Then Rajiv was the Prime Minister then he looked at all of us and all. Then he said, "Oh, क्या इतना चिल्ला रहे हो तुम लोग? तस्वीर नहीं बना क्या? अच्छा छोड़ो उनको." Then what he did was, okay, Aja, then they were all sitting, they called and he just started talking to them or so, some actions. So we started clicking, tick, 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 and अब तो तेरा तस्वीर बन गया ना, आप लोग चलो.
But वो ऐसे ही था, no? So Rajiv Gandhi was like that.
You have to be something different, you know, which others will not think.
Photographers, cameramen, and as journalists, we all know that we do so many things and we have to find different ways of getting around the problem and still getting your story. So when you think back on your career, you know, the actual hardcore news coverage that you have done for years and years and years, and then you put that alongside your photojournalism, which is totally a different kind of a genre, isn't it? Do you prefer the photojournalism, I guess? You prefer that?
I love it. It depends on this. But I love this also. See, now I can't do photojournalism because for that you'll have to have a lot of facility. You'll have to work for some organization and all, which I can't do it.
Yes.
But this I have other photography I can do always on my own.
Right. So what is it that you are now specializing in doing, now that you've given up sort of full-time camera work?
Now what I do is, you know, I told you, know, I love artistic photography.
Oh,
okay. My passion is, you know, music, festivals, culture, rituals.
And those are quite easy to do, is it, for you?
Not very easy. That we'll have to look for it. We'll have to have some contacts. There are a lot of people who organize things and all. Right. So I love to do tribal pictures.
Okay.
In fact, I have done a lot of tribal pictures, you know, even Odisha tribal. There for that and all, you know, 6 months earlier, we had to apply for the passes and all. And when I met them, when I've taken some pictures of tribal people, Odishan tribal people, in their life, they have not even seen a bus or a train.
It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, I think in our business, really, when you get out into some of the rural areas and look at what's happening, we can't imagine, because people have no idea, nor did we to have a start, you know. But right now, then, you're still trying to do those difficult shoots, as it were. You still try to do that? Yes? You're laughing, then you're laughing, then that means you're still enjoying it very, very, very much, right? Okay, of all your awards, which is your most precious?
No, that way, you know, I have a lot of awards. I have won at least about more than 250 awards, international awards, national international awards. I think so around 3,000 pictures of mine have been exhibited at least in 50 countries.
Really?
And
okay.
I have 29 international and national distinctions from 7 different countries.
Have you ever thought of trying to teach young people how to take photographs?
That I do it. Actually, you know, that's one lot of people also say, well, See, when today's young generation, I really envy them actually, because the entire world is on their fingertips.
With that cell phone, right?
Anything you want, just go Google down, you can see it.
Yes.
But when we were there, nothing was there. So that's the reason I actually wanted to do this exhibition. See, now I think so there are thousands of exhibitions which happens in India. When we were doing it, when I started competing with this one and all, the entire country for the whole year there would be about 50 competitions. So what we used to do now, to see others work in Bangalore,
Yes.
if the judging is there, about 3,000 pictures will come, good, bad, worst, and the best, everything.
Yeah.
But at least you will have an opportunity to see that. 2 days, 3 days, we used to sit down there and watch everything.
As we speak right now, there is this Confluence photographic show that's going on right here in our city. So I understand that this is one of the earliest shows that was started by the British. Is that correct?
Yeah, this club was started by Britishers. In between, they were doing it after the independence and all. And there was any club, will have a lot of problems. And this actually, it was doing very well, and it stopped in between. And actually, it was revived about a couple of years ago with one of my friends and all. The group of people, they stopped, and they started. Now they have become very active. See, this exhibition Confluence, what we are doing is, see, nowadays photography has, there's a lot of difference. Now photography has become so easy. And today's photographers, I always joke with them sometimes, nowadays, the cameras are taking photographs and not the photographer.
That's true.
In our days, we had, if a photographer has to do it, they has to do everything. Now nothing, even if you give it to a small kid, make everything set up, technically it has become so good. What happened was this Confluence, why we are trying to conduct this Confluence is that, see, everybody takes the pictures digitally and sees it. See, seeing a picture and giving a like in a Instagram or a mobile photograph is, because that's very small, they really don't know what exactly.
Yes, that's true.
So once they realize that, once the picture is printed, then they realize, because none of the pictures can stand that this one, because unless they're good quality. So we wanted, and also they should know, they'll enjoy the real picture in a big exhibition, big size images. So that's the reason we wanted, club wanted to give an opportunity for the youngsters and everyone, So every year we do this now. We started back from 2014, 24 onward.
Yeah.
Again, we conduct the exhibition. And so that, we try to give an opportunity, use at least one picture from every member who submits.
Oh, right. Okay.
So that it will be a sort of encouragement for them. And now everybody looks the pictures at phone and they forget about it. At least, looking at their own picture on a wall, on a gallery.
Must be a nice feeling. It must be a wonderful
very nice feeling, and it's a sort of encouragement for them, actually.
Right.
Once, it's like even for me also, say, when I started this one, you get started, hey, I got one acceptance, I think so, I should do much better. So you compare yourself, you start comparing yourself.
With what's on what's at the exhibition. Now tell me, what kind of an audience do you get for these photographic shows? Do you have a lot of people who come in? Do people enjoy good photography these days? What is your feeling?
No, every type of people, it depends on the venue. Like, for example, Lalitakala Academy. Lalitakala Academy is a place, it's not that everybody walks in like...
That's true. You have to really want to go there.
Really interested in
That's
this one. But sometimes some people keep an exhibition in a mall.
Right.
So that everywhere, even we have our club, we had kept, we did our this one, exhibition for Metro, Chennai Metro.
Okay.
There, even all the metro stations have our pictures. There, anybody will come and they're not, they just see in the picture and go. But like the galleries like Lalitakala Academy and all this, where the people who are really interested in Bangalore, Chitrakalā Parishad.
Right.
So these are all the places one should get this one good audience.
One should get acceptance, as it were, right? So as you go forward, do you find yourself doing more and more work now that you're not doing full-time work? Do you find you still have the same enthusiasm for what you want to do?
See, there is no, and actually, if you, even for me also, even my own relatives, my brothers, sisters, everybody says, so how long you have done this? Why do you still want to do it?
Oh, no, there's no end to it. I think if you really liked, I can understand that if you really like to do something, Now, you've also been doing a lot of work for the Karnataka Tourism Board and doing a lot of pictures like that. You like traveling, you told me. So do you like actually doing that, focusing on the nice places of a state or a city or whatever? Do you like that?
Yeah, everywhere. I keep traveling. I told you, see, for example, nowadays I live in Bangalore and also in Chennai.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm basically a Bangalorean.
You belong to Bangalore, really?
belong to Bangalore. From 92 I was here, and because I'm all alone here, and I don't have a full time, I'm not doing a full time work, and I keep traveling also. All my relatives are in Bangalore. I live in this one also. See, I was in Bangalore. I was supposed to come back for this exhibition on 28th I had booked. And last minute, I booked my ticket at 5 o'clock. And at 6 o'clock, I get a call from one of my friends that, hey, there's a national surfing competitions happening in Bangalore.
Surfing? Okay.
So, which we knew, but the venue was duplicating. So, I had, dates were duplicating, I had left it. But last minute, within 2 hours, I cancelled the ticket and booked the ticket. And the same 28th night, I went to Bangalore.
Instead of coming here?
Instead of coming. 30th morning, I left Bangalore, came back to Bangalore, and 30th night itself, I started to Chennai. Because from 2nd onwards, we had the exhibition. First, we'll have to do the organization and all. So, why I am saying this is, that it depends on the interest. The people, even my relatives, friends and all say, why do you want to still do that? After that, why can't you relax? You have done for the whole of your life is that. And in fact, someone was asking me actually, what's your ambition? Earlier, I was telling I wanted to work for India Today, and which I achieved. And what's your ambition? I say, I want to die while clicking a picture.
Yeah, that's true. Of course, we've had many, many famous photographers in India, right? For instance, I'm thinking of Raghu Rai, who just died very recently. His work was quite outstanding. Is there a particular Indian cameraman whom you really like his work? Is there any one person whose work you admire?
That way, honestly, I think so. Raghu Rai was one person.
He was wonderful, no?
See, as I used to do, see, my picture work is also something different, because, I used to love his photo features. So, I was thinking, I should do, I started developing that actually. In fact, that if I have achieved something today, it's only because of that actually. Like, I started doing it, and I started doing freelancing from Bangalore when I was a small tabloid newspaper called The City Tab.
Okay.
Actually, what happened was there I got an opportunity because they were looking at my this one, and those days, I shouldn't be very, if I think of it now, no, those days, it was printing, composing everything was costing more.
Yes, of course.
So, a photograph, if they can do a block of a photograph, that will be cost saving for them. And for that, what they were doing was, every time they were asking me, every week they were asking me, hey, can you work on some theme and give me a photo feature every week? I'll give you a 2-page spread. So that they'll save money on that. That was their intention. Then I took that as an opportunity.
Right.
I took that as an opportunity. I started working on every time, I have a theme fixed, some theme or some subject I have. See, these such things, you can't do it just overnight. You'll have to think of these things and start collecting the pictures. Having that, once you have the theme, you start looking for that theme. Whatever you get, you shoot and keep it.
Right. What about putting out a book on your own, a collation of all your photographs of your favorites, your best ones? Have you thought of doing that? Have you done something like that so far?
No, initially what happened was I was planning to do that, but unfortunately what has happened is, I worked for these organizations for more than 3 decades full time. And the copyright issue is that, whatever have shot,
it's theirs.
It is their property.
Yes.
I have no
records really of that.
So all the major things what I have done, I don't have anything on that. I don't have any right on that.
Oh,
so I can't use.
that is a pity. Right. Before I close my show and I let you go, tell me one person, one big person, one famous person whom you have had the opportunity to shoot. I know you've gone all the way from the Gandhis and down to our own current Prime Minister, and so many different people, and so many former Prime Ministers, well-known people, sports persons, whoever it is. Tell me if there's one person who sticks out and stands out in your memory.
That way I can't say one person. I can tell you when you say this, actually, I think so. I can't stop it at one. I can.
Okay, I'll give you three then.
I can name. I can at least three.
All right. Okay, I'll give you three then. Tell me.
See,
who are those three persons?
Which I cannot forget.
Yes.
As a person,
Yes.
listen, I was fortunate enough. I was working in Delhi. I was very fortunate enough when Rajiv had lost his elections. I mean, then he was campaigning for this one. I had an opportunity along with my correspondent in Delhi to be traveling with him on his convoy.
Okay.
From afternoon 1 o'clock to 3 a.m. in the
Next
morning.
morning.
That was the time, actually, that campaigning was such
That's
a long
right.
time.
Yes, yes.
In fact, I cannot forget in my life that, I shot the pictures of him traveling along with him, and we were on the convoy, and actually, in the evening 6 or 7, he wanted to relax and fresh up himself and all. We were also given in Haryana some place, a guest house was given, and there was another guest house, I mean, room for us also. But what happened was, we were planning to go there. Then Rajiv said, because we were all together, no, nahi yaar, aa jao hamara kamre mein chai pee lo.
Wow, that's great. Yes. Okay, so Rajiv Gandhi was one person. Who's the next one? Who's number two
And
then?
apart that, that Karunanidhi he was talking about, Karunanidhi, I did one day with the life of Karunanidhi, I mean, Chief Minister. There, I was amazed. He was 80. He was not able to even walk. You know that.
Yes,
he was
yes.
taking support
Yes,
of people
yes,
and all.
yes.
And even at that age, he started his day at 3:30
And finished it.
and ending it at 1 o'clock. The whole thing, visiting, going from a walk.
Look at the stamina of the man. Look
Yeah.
at the stamina of him, Okay, so the third and the last.
And after that, Jayalalitha, in fact, when I was working with Deccan Herald and when I shifted to Delhi, the first assignment what India Today, the photo editor India Today, Mr. Bhawan Singh told me was that, I don't care, Rajashekar, what you're doing. We don't have any pictures of Jayalalitha. So send me lakhs and lakhs of pictures for our library. And actually, because she was not given the accreditation, what I did was, my appointment letter was for Bangalore, then Chennai. Then what happened was, because to retain my PAB accreditation, which was in Delhi, they changed my appointment to Delhi, and I retained my PAB accreditation and came in, which was allowed everywhere. They were allowing it, but they said no, it's not valid in Tamil Nadu.
I'm not surprised. I am not surprised.
And after that, I was taking a picture. There was one ex-Nora function where it was not a government function. I managed to get into that reason at Kalaimana Rangam. I was started taking a couple of pictures when Jayalalitha was there, because I wanted stock pictures. And suddenly, I get a hand on my shoulder. I just see that. He said, don't take the pictures unnecessarily. He said, you have already taken 28 pictures. Don't take, whenever she gives award, then only you should take it. And I will see my counter, actually in the camera, I have shot 26 pictures. They were so strict. What I could notice with her was, being a photo actress herself, whenever I used to shoot pictures, in case if I'm trying some pictures from a low angle, she knows that with that lighting it looks not good.
Not flattering.
She used to warn me that no, smile and no, you cannot take those pictures.
Right. But did you have any problems like that with the MS Subbulakshmi, for instance? You had done a lot with her.
MS Amma, I had a lot of opportunities to shoot her. I have shot her pictures, at home, different, even she cooking, she's practicing her this one. And in fact, it's all property of India Today. And some of the international books on Amma has carried my pictures.
Right. In fact, I had gone to interview her once.
Yeah.
And they actually invited us to have breakfast with them in their dining room, which was such an honor and it was such a wonderful thing. But
and even 𝗃𝗵𝗵𝗲 have pictures of her, you know,
Yes.
and had a picture of, I mean, like such a
these
beautiful.
things are all very, very precious to people like us. But I think that's the advantage of being the kind of person that you are as a photographer. You've had a ringside view to everybody's life and career. And well, today I've had a more than a ringside view with you here, Rajashekar. And I wanted to thank you. I wanted to say how grateful I am for your time today. I do appreciate it. Well, it was wonderful for me to be talking to someone so interesting, an old colleague with so much to tell us. And I hope that you've enjoyed watching him, and I hope that you've enjoyed listening to him, because he's had a lot to tell us. So until the next time, you take care. Bye for now.